Hello, everyone. I'm going to make sure my mic is working before I get into this and let some people also join in on the live as we talk about all of the conspiracy theories, primarily focusing on Bob Joyce, Elvis, Trump, and all the things surrounding all them. But let me know if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hi, Kathy. Yeah, you made it. Sorry, I'm terrible about doing the announcements, um, even on my own channels. But if you really want to join the live, you just got to look for it. But sorry, maybe I will improve on that in time. So, yeah, not only am I living, but it's daytime. Check that out. I've been catching up on some rest lately and doing my best with that. It's not easy for me. And so I kind of found myself available at a weird time of day that I'm usually still working on stuff. So let's see who's out here. Great. I'm glad you can hear me. I think I finally figured out the issue I was having with how to get my mic working every time. It's just finicky. Certain apps, it's more finicky or something. That's weird. Or it's probably my phone. So, anyhow, kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video as I dodge trash and recycle bins is all of the main conspiracy theories. Of course, I've been talking a lot about Bob Joyce and Elvis Presley and sharing 280 videos over the last couple months. Hard to believe, but and that's slowed down some, of course. But as long as we're in this holding pattern and waiting period, I'm sure the videos are going to keep on rolling. So Bob Joyce, Elvis Presley, Donald Trump, and then there are plenty more names we could mention and go into detail about, but I didn't want to cover all the names and really all the specifics unless you guys have um, questions or thoughts you want to share with the group. But I just want to, I know the last couple of days I've been thinking about where we're at with everything, right? And a lot of people thought that big stuff, like really, really big stuff, was already going to happen by the election, before the election, right after the election. And I wasn't sure either, but I've been suspecting the last 2 years, since November 22, that we're going to have to wait for this whole thing to play out. Um, besides other signs, one of the main was just the statements that President Trump was making publicly about the pause. And yeah, you either know what I'm talking about or you don't there. But there was statements that he made that made it pretty clear to me that he was signaling either directly or indirectly that we're all going to have to wait, kind of like a normal 4-year president's term, even though there's been next to nothing normal about so-called Biden's presidency. So again, stopping kind of at this point in time and just taking note of where we're at, well, I still say that it looks like we got to wait for things to play out. And I would go even a step further, like I said right before the election, that there's a chance that a lot of the hype, good and bad, about what's coming could have just been kind of a lot of psyops, if I can use that word, which nowadays that term gets thrown around a lot, but it really can mean a whole lot of things. As simple as somebody saying one thing, but actually trying to get people to think another, or from that all the way to all out military warfare, right? I am in Southern California. Hi, Kathy, Scott, everybody. Welcome. It's weird seeing you all in daylight or seeing me. It's usually always night shift the last month. So back to what I was talking about. It's actually quite possible that a lot of our theories could be answered in 2025. And when you connect all the dots and see how this last 4 years, how much of an awakening period it was, and how there was a purpose to it. So many things in hindsight that should be crystal clear to a lot of us who have been paying attention. And I need to be speaking to the people who have been paying attention, because if you haven't been paying attention to what's been happening with open ears, eyes, and discernment, then you would have missed some things. That's okay. Nothing wrong if you did. We're glad to have you. If you're jumping fully on board of the truth train, discernment train, whatever you want to call it. But if you've been really paying attention the last 4 years, you've noticed a lot of weird anomalies that are almost impossible to be coincidences or anomalies. Sure, maybe you see it 5, 10, 20 times, you're still chalking it up to a coincidence. But once you see similar things maybe a couple hundred times, that's when things kind of seem impossible to some extent. Show the fin of your bike. Was that a daisy? I got this bike free on the side of the road. I don't even know what brand it is. I'll show you the fin of my bike. Yeah, it's got some flower power. So I guess it's appropriate because I'm in California. I think that saying was originated in California. Anyhow, so where was I going with that? So when we look to the topic of Bob Joyce, we see countless coincidences and connections. And I still leave the door open. It might not be him, right? But man, if it's not him, crazy. I think it'll actually be crazier to me if it's not him than if it is at this point. Did I say that right? Yeah. Because yeah, I'm only a hippie on this bike. Well, maybe not. But there's just so many things about him that it's like, what's the term? Doppelganger. He's Elvis's doppelganger, which I don't even remember what that word means. It's kind of like, it's not an actual twin, right? It's just somebody who looks just like him. But Bob to Elvis is like the quadruple doppelganger or something when you add in his musical skills, piano, guitar, vocals, charisma. Just generally speaking, his level of charisma. A lot of pastors, a lot of public speakers don't have that natural charisma, sort of what I might describe as like the control of the room, the vibe, and just not control. Control is a bad word or the wrong word. Just command over the room, I think is the word. Like the pauses, right? And the volume. And he's just really good at all those things. So as far as charisma, I would just generally sum it up by saying he has a high level of charisma, just like Elvis, which is rare. It is very rare. So, and then, you factor in the Trump, him going to Mar-a-Lago. What's up with that, right? And then pictures of him with, was it Lisa Marie Presley? And then, of course, with 𝐸𝐴 and George Magazine, that connection, which is obvious, it's going somewhere. It wasn't just like a one-time encounter. 𝐸𝐴 wanted to check him out and talk to him and interview him, but they're actively making plans. So, okay, so that's one topic, Bob Joyce and Elvis Presley. And then what about President Trump? I don't even know where to begin with that because I've been following so many connections about him the last 8 years and how it was no accident, the many things that happened and how they happened. And he's obviously had tremendous backing behind him, people helping him behind the scenes to do what you might call psychological stuff, right? That I totally believe for good reasons and good purposes. So, with all that being said, where's my dog? She's back there. She's always not too far away. I will take a quick pit stop here anyway, because we're about at our turnaround spot. I used to live all the time out here because it's away from the road and the cars and the people, and I can just talk without distractions. But then I don't know what happened, really. We started sticking around the streets. There's a doggy. She's just looking for the next place to leave her mark. Right, Cassie? So, yeah, and it's nice to be out in the sun for a change. I'm sorry for those of you who cannot do that because it's maybe cold and overcast, but I am taking advantage of this opportunity today to get some vitamin D because I've been inside a lot lately, just recovering from a little leg injury. Nothing major, but just very annoying. So anyway, back to the conspiracies, right? In 2025. This is going to be a very revealing year, no matter how you slice it. If it's true that we're going to find out the answers to Bob Joyce, the other big one is the shape of the earth, right? Which you could go on either side of that. The groups, the polar opposite groups, and you'll have the group on the left saying it's a done deal, right? All the proof is there. And then on the other side, all the proof is there. It's a done deal. Okay, so isn't that kind of like Bob Joyce and Elvis Presley? It's the same thing. I was talking about this last night. We have groups on both sides who are like, it's been debunked, it's been confirmed, like it's a done deal. But okay, we're still all in the same place. So and then okay, aliens is another one, which personally I just haven't been interested enough to dive into, but I trust the Bible by default as far as I believe there's angels and demons, but I don't believe that there's like the sci-fi aliens that we see in the movies. And so again, there those are some of the big conspiracy theories that are still being debated here December, what is it, 18th, 2024, 19th, I lost track, somebody help me, what day is it? I don't even know what day of the week it is. No, I know it's Wednesday. But like I was saying, we're in this place right now where we have dug in groups on both sides of the argument and we still have no answers. So, surprise, we're waiting. We're waiting a little bit longer. But I do think with all the things we've connected and waited for and things that are have come to pass, and with President Trump returning, 2025 is going to be a huge year. We already know that for a lot of things, and I'm going to believe mostly good things. It's the 18th. Thank you. um, and along with that, it seems like the perfect timing for a lot of these questions to be answered. And so, how are the masses going to finally know the truth, have it revealed to them, and the biggest part of all, after that, accept it and it be known as the truth? It's going to have to be publicly announced, broadcast, and probably in a very special way, a very unique, never done before way, because these are such monumental things. You know, it's not even like, well, I guess it is like announcing that World War III is starting, because everybody in the world gets that information one way or another. But it doesn't have to be a bad event that brings out this truth, but it needs to be that sort of extreme of an eye-opening moment in history. Or 9/11, there's another example, right? And the theories, which I haven't gotten into, I'm probably not going to get into here, but we could interview some people and they will be on the polar opposite of that based on what information they've heard, were told, or dug up themselves. And so I firmly believe what I believe, but that's the conspiracy theory, quote unquote, right? And so you'll have those on the opposing side who are going to say totally the opposite and go along with the official narrative story. So that's another huge one, which actually, I think it was Kash Patel. Truth was going to come out about that. And I mean, just him leading the FBI alone is enormous, the changes that could come about. So, oh, the Brunson case, yeah, I mean, that's another big deal. And we're waiting on that. There's so many things. But yeah, once we get into January, February 2025, the people are going to be in place, the presidency is going to be in place, and I see no reason why so many of these things can be dripped out. And I stand by my theory that I think it's going to be kind of slow rolled because people are going to be in the hospital if they're told everything, no matter what it is, on each of these issues all in 1 week. It's not going to be digestible. I've been talking about all this stuff for I don't know how many years, and it's still going to be a wow moment once I know the truth, just because it's like, wow, we finally know. And I can't believe either I was right or I was wrong. So I would even go as far as to say it could be a couple year process or close to his whole term that they've planned out what's going to be shared and when. But I cannot accept or fully believe the theories that we're going to have this flip the switch moment where everything's magical, everybody knows the truth, and happy ending, it's over. It doesn't fit with reality. And so look at the last 4 years, and I think that's going to give us all a really good indication of what the next 4 years will look like. And by that, really all I mean is slow rolled, not lightning fast things. Yes, there are moments in history where something big happens, but it's not 10 of them in a row, to just give another generic example. Big things, really huge things, happen either because they're planned far in advance or just something bad happens, natural disaster, that sort of thing. So, and I do believe that our best patriots have our best interests in mind too. So, not that it matters what I would do, but a part of that team and deciding what to do, I wouldn't do everything all at once. That's just psychologically, that seems horrible for most people. So I got to wrap it up here because my phone's exploding. But that was longer than planned to talk about this stuff already. But I got some good ideas for more videos coming soon, more entertainment into the holidays. And I should have a special release on December 31st. Just something fun to close out the year. So I'll give you more information soon. I hope you guys all have a good night and good weekend in a couple days, but in a good day. I'll see you all again soon. Take care. God bless. Thank you all for joining me.